Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right. And with that, we are back in the lobby bar for the week of September the 9th, 2024. Brian and Michaela with you. And Michaela, the weather took a noticeable turn this week. It was quite a bit chillier outside. It was quite nice. I have to say, finally got to turn the air conditioner off for the week, which was good. And I got to watch a couple of things actually over the course of the week. But how are you doing today? How was your fall? I guess it's not really fall technically yet, but how was your cooler weather kicking off?
It's amazing. I am loving it, I will say. Yeah, it's not 90,000 degrees, and that's awesome.
Yes.
I'm not quite able to figure out how to, like, I don't know, wear flannel yet. I mean, it's not cold enough for that, but my top is down on my convertible, and that is nice.
Well, well, there you go. Well, there you go. It's convertible weather. I guess that is good. And hopefully for us here in the lobby bar, it is amaretto weather, right? Because that is our ingredient of the month, which is
Yay.
good.
Especially if we add it to whiskey.
Especially if we add it to whiskey. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're going to be doing this week here in the lobby bar. Michaela, this was a recipe that you turned me on to just a couple weeks ago. We were hanging out and decided to do this for one of the upcoming lobby bars. And I think that this is the appropriate time to be doing it because it gets some bourbon in there. So it's good for some fall weather. We're going to turn it over to pumpkin maybe here next week or the next couple of weeks. But we're going with a tried and true kind of classic cocktail and just jazzing it up a little bit with the amaretto here this week, and we are going to be making up an amaretto Manhattan.
Ooh, uh, that's amazing. I'm so excited about this. In fact, I think I looked at it and I was like, what could we do with amaretto that is different, that is fallish, that's not, pumpkin spice yet? We're not quite there. It's not quite cold enough for that. Um, yeah, I'm super excited to share this with the world because this is going to be delicious. And it's very easy to make. You take 2 ounces of whiskey and you add that to half an ounce of sweet vermouth, just like you do in a regular Manhattan. But then you're going to add half an ounce of amaretto on top of that, and 2 dashes of bitters. Now, these bitters are Angostura bitters typically, but you can do probably anything you want with these.
Mhm.
If you have some sort of like cherry bitters, or I was thinking about rhubarb bitters, that might be kind of neat.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. You can play around with the bitters a little bit here. I think I just went with regular Angostura bitters for the one that I did, but I have black walnut bitter, which I think would be nice to really kind of drive home the flavor there of that almond. And yeah, making a Manhattan is easy, and it's an easy recipe to remember, right? It's 212, so it's the area code for Manhattan, apparently. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've always heard it referred to as. So you got 2 ounces of your whiskey there. For mine, I'm going to use rye because it's going to cut through a little bit of the sweeter notes of the amaretto. It's got a little bit more spice to it. So 2 ounces of whichever whiskey you want to use. I think this would be also interesting if you used a smoky Scotch in there. That could be good. And then your one is going to be the sweet vermouth. But in this case, we're kind of cutting that in half. So a half ounce of sweet vermouth and a half ounce of amaretto. So that gets you your one there, and then your bitters. So go ahead and shake that up or stir it with some ice, and then you can serve a Manhattan a couple of ways. You can serve it over like a big ice cube if you want. I usually like mine. Neat in like a coupe or a martini glass. Sip and enjoy. You can of course garnish that with a nice cherry, but I don't really like this. The amaretto there gives it a little bit of nuttiness. It's just a little bit of a different riff on it because Manhattan is a drink that I have a lot, partially because it's so easy to put together and you pretty much always have those ingredients on hand if you have any sort of a well-stocked bar. But I liked the amaretto inclusion here in this one. Just gave it a little bit of a different characteristic, and it felt a little bit more fall-esque, early fall, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Because it's still like, um, I don't know, adulty, and it's still dark and broody the way a Manhattan should be. But it's got just that hint of sweetness in the amaretto. I don't know why I always liken it to like just a, I don't know, like a buttery. It's got that nutty taste from the almonds, but it's also like sweet, but not
Hmm.
like syrupy sweet, like just very umptious, very like sumptuous kind of a drink. And which is why, like, if you were gonna do like amaretto sour, you want to make sure that you're using real a real good mix for the sour part because it can get too syrupy.
Mhm.
I don't know. I really like this one. I was very excited when we saw it. I hope the world likes it too.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully the world likes that, and the world apparently does like Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice that is leading the way here at the box office this week, $110 million there. Michaela, we are going to see this tomorrow, so that's going to be pretty exciting. So look for an episode about that coming here in just a couple of weeks after we've had a chance to check that out. Pretty excited about this. We'll watch the old Beetlejuice. We're going to be talking about that on Patreon and then covering into the new one. But $110 million is pretty good. Especially, we're kind of in this period of some remakes, right? We had Twisters, we had The Crow, and now we have Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, and you never know what you're going to get, but people seem to be pretty high on this one. Have you heard anything about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice other than your own predilections about this one?
I have one of our friends, Galaxy of Film, did like a non-spoiler alert review that you can go check out. I'm hearing that it's good. If you like the original, I'm hearing that this is a little bit more like goofy, more uh, less more about like the death part and what happens after you die. Which having rewatched Beetlejuice, it was like it turns out being dead, you think you don't have things to worry about, but it's all a bureaucracy and trying to get like out of your house
Mm,
and
hmm
needing to
hmm
be you're like stuck haunting it for hundreds of years. That's no fun. That's no fun. So but I've heard that it's really good. I'm excited. I have really tried to stay away from more previews about it because I don't want anything to be spoiled, but the reviews that I've heard so far have been pretty promising, so we will see.
We will see indeed. So yeah, definitely look forward to our chat about that. We have a really fun cocktail coming your way for that one when we release that here in just a couple of weeks. And if you make it out to see Beetlejuice, you might have already seen it. Or maybe you're going to see it, or maybe that's not your jam. We've got a couple of new things coming to movie theaters this week. I don't think they're probably going to take much of a swipe out of Beetlejuice here, Deadpool and Wolverine, which is going to magically bounce back up into that top spot next week, no doubt. But we've got a couple of things here, Michaela. We've seen the previews for a couple of these, the last couple of movies we've been out to see.
Mhm.
But the first one is Speak No Evil, which is like this psychological thriller horror kind of thing. James McAvoy is in
Mhm.
it. That one looks pretty good. Might be pretty good. I kind of like the psychological thriller of it all here. It's
Yeah.
definitely getting to that time of year. And then the other one here, we've got an action comedy kind of thing starring Dave Bautista, Sofia Boutella. That is The Killer's Game. Did either of these catch your fancy in the previews a couple weeks ago, Michaela?
The Killer's Game sounds kind of interesting to me, for sure, because I'm excited. I'm excited for both of them. I don't know if I'm going to make it out to the theaters to see them, but
Yeah, definitely looking forward, I guess, to Speak No Evil. That's a little bit more my jam. I don't know if I'll make it out to the theater to see it, but I would guess it'll probably have a pretty short run and be out before Halloween on everyone's TV screens if you're not going to be able to make it out to see that. Dave Bautista is okay. He seems to be pigeonholed into this character that he plays here. It seems like it's going to be kind of up that same alley, but it might be a fun time. Probably kind of a dumb action movie that you can go and have some chuckles at and see some good action. That'll be good. So you got both of those coming to your TV or to your movie screens this coming week. And if you're watching some TV, not a lot new to report on, but the 76th annual Emmy Awards are going to be this Sunday night. That's on ABC if you want to watch those. We might talk about some of the highlights in the next week's lobby bar, but Shogun from FX is leading the way with 25 nominations, and The Bear following up close behind with 23 nominations. I don't know if you really get into the Emmy Awards too much, Michaela. I don't usually watch them, but I do like to keep an eye on them just to see what won, and mostly to get things on the list that I haven't watched before. So.
yes, absolutely. I mean, I feel like you are much better at watching shows and series than I am. So I basically just look at you for inspiration as to what is quote unquote good or not. Um, Really looking forward to actually watching Shogun because it's been on my list for months now and I just haven't been able to do it. And then catching up on The Bear because I've never even started that one. And you say it's one of the best shows that you've ever seen on television. So I have a lot of catching up to do. But I'm
That's right.
always
Well,
very happy to see when the Emmys do well, because
mm,
I'm usually like very delayed in my watchability for series. But you can't deny like years and years in a row of winning like best ensemble cast, best actor, like best script. You cannot, you can't fly in the face of those, right? So like I didn't get on
Right.
the Sopranos train until like halfway through the series, three-quarters of the way through the series when it had won like everything. Same with Succession. It was winning things left and right. And it wasn't only then where I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So it's just kind of my way, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. And of course, your girl here loves looking at dresses and tuxedos and all that stuff. That's always a fun part of any of the red carpet events.
Well, there you go. I thought you were going to say champagne, but yeah, looking at the dresses and tuxedos is pretty good too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
speaking of good taste, last week we talked about The Shape of Water. That was a really fun episode, fun chat to get together there. And this week we're talking about a film widely heralded as one of the greatest comedies of them all. Happy 50th anniversary to Blazing Saddles. We'll be talking about that here on the main show this week. If you want to get some more bonus content from us, you can check out the Patreons, patreon.com/drinkthemovies. We're going to be getting our hangout scheduled here very soon for the month. We've got the Crow, the original Crow on there now, and we'll be talking about the original Beetlejuice on there this month. We'll probably get that episode out this week. So that's a great way to support the podcast. If you need some bonus stuff, go check that out. So with that, Michaela, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week in the lobby bar. Go ahead and mix up Amaretto Manhattan. Let us know what you think about that, and keep the Amaretto handy because we're going to be using it the rest of the month. So thank you so much for tuning
yeah.
in, and we'll talk to you next week.